Hello, Reni. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
So I will say the next thing in Russian and then in English.
Okay, thank you.
Добрый вечер всем. Большое спасибо за то, что вы присоединились сегодня к нашей встрече. Эта встреча называется «Тенсегрити Карлоса Кастанеды. Путь безупречности во взаимоотношениях». Наша встреча будет состоять из двух частей. В первой части у вас будет возможность встретиться с Ренатой Мюрез, услышать ее лекцию, задать ей вопросы. Рената Мюрез – прямая ученица Карлоса Кастанеды, Флоринды Донер-Грау, Таиши Абеляр и Кэрол Тикс, и креативный директор, основанной Карлосом Кастанедой компании Clear Green. Эта часть пройдет на английском языке. Если кому-то из вас нужен перевод, пожалуйста, присоединяйтесь к программе TeamSpeak. Вторая часть нашей встречи будет посвящена практике. Ее проведут ведущие Тенсегрити. Она будет на русском языке из Фрагмент. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining our webinar, the title of which is Carlos Castaneda Tensegriti, the Path to Impeccability in Relationships. There will be two parts. In the first part, you will have a pleasure to meet Renata Mюрез, the student of Carlos Castaneda, Florinda Donner-Grau, Taisha Abeliar, and Kэрol Tix, and creative co-director at Clear Green, the company founded by Carlos Castaneda to share the knowledge of Tensegriti with the world. Our meeting will consist of two parts. In the first part, you will meet Renata Mюрез. In the second part, Russian facilitators will lead a practice in Russian. So please, for our English-speaking guests, if you want to have this practice, you will be able to receive this assignment in English if you register for the workshop in Moscow or another Clear Green workshops that will happen in France in early July in Chartres. And now I hand over to Renata and let's start our meeting.
Thank you so
Reni?
much. Yes, thank you so much, Lena. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm simply going to introduce myself, not because you don't know who I am, but because for energetic reasons. So I am Renata Mürez, and I'm the friend of Carlos Castaneda, Kэрol Tix, Florinda Donner-Grau, and Taisha Abeliar. And I'm very, very pleased to be here today. A little while ago, I made another video, which I think many of you have seen. And in that video, we talked about, why weren't we having better relationships than we were? And what we discussed or what we explored together, what we discovered was that most of us are living within the paradigm of a relationship that might have been our parents or our grandparents or our neighbors next door or uncles or aunts or something, but they're not relationships with which we design. And how this happens is when we're young. I'm going to talk about myself now. I remember, 7 or 8 years old, I was already starting to look at, my environment, everyone in my environment, my sister, my older sister, my next door neighbors, my grandparents, my uncles, etc. What was a role model I wanted to become? As a female, what was the role model I wanted to become? I didn't have the best relationship with my mom, so my mother was crossed off the list immediately. I was not going to become my mother. Yes. And so I looked around and I shopped around for, I like that one. No. I want that one. No. And I settled on, I liked my grandmother. My grandmother was kind. My grandmother treated her husband to breakfast every morning, and she brought him tea in bed and honey, and she made him poached eggs. This whole thing, I just became enamored with the care and the personality of my grandmother, the way she did her housekeeping, the way she arranged her furniture, etc., etc. So my paradigm for myself as a female, as a woman in the world, I chose. It's my grandma. Okay? Now, I didn't have any brothers. So, but then a little older, maybe 11, 12, or 13, I started looking for a paradigm of what would be the perfect partner. And for me, that was easy because I was my father's favorite little girl. I was daddy's girl. And so that was easy. I was just going to find a partner like my dad. So, as you can see, by the time I got to dating age, 17, 18, etc., longer, I was going to be my grandmother married to my father. How do you think those relationships turned out? But it's an interesting example to show you, or to show us all, that the relationships I have, the people I pick to have relationships with, whether I complain about them all the time, whether they leave me, whether they have affairs, whether they can make money, whether they can save money, whether they can't make money, it all comes from me. I am the major part and the major concern and the major creator and dreamer of all my relationships. Every last one. And if I want my relationships to change, my partner's not going to change. They're living another paradigm. For me to change my relationships, I need to change myself. I need to remove myself from my paradigm of my grandmother married to my father. It sounds so silly. And change that paradigm. And this is what the work of Carlos Castaneda, Tensegriti, and this seminar is all about. Is, first off, understanding that paradigm. Understanding that we need decisions, that when we were young, we were swimming in this soup of different people, different influences, different impulses in our lives, and we chose certain ones over others. And then the next step is, how do you create something different? How do you create something different so that you're not living now with my, 20, 30, 40, 50-year-old partner as my now 80-year-old family did? It's interesting to me because we all want a soulmate. Or maybe it was popular, maybe it's not so popular. But we all want that encompassing, perfect partner that reads our mind, that massages our feet. Oh my gosh, that just puts us in nirvana all the time. But we are not choosing such people from our soul. How are you going to find a soul partner unless you're looking for them from your soul? Doesn't make much sense, does it? Now, when I was young and looking at the template or pattern of a partnership and found one, that's not quite my soul. That's just kind of my normal everyday awareness. I was in the biological urges of a young woman looking to be loved. I was following the dreams of my parents. My mother wanted me to marry a certain kind of man. My grandmother wanted me to marry a certain kind of man. I mean, it goes on, So, this older paradigm that I was living with is not from my soul. And as a human being who, our frontal lobe, our brain doesn't really develop till the age of 25. Do we ever have consciousness of our soul from a conscious level? Much before that time? Yes, we have a soul. Yes, we have an energy body, which in my tradition we call our soul. all the way from birth. But am I truly aware of it? Do I know when I'm with it or without it? It doesn't happen until sometime later, just because us human beings can't figure it out until sometime. So now that I'm adult, I know I might want a better relationship, whether I want to pick a better partner, whether I want to make a better relationship with the one I have. It's going to rely upon me being in my partnership, picking my partners, and acting in my relationship from my soul, from my energy body. And this is what this workshop is going to do. After we do some clearing and everyone understands what their past paradigm and past, patterns of relationships are, we are going to get in a very quiet space. And we're going to find out what our soul wants, what our energy body wants. Because what's interesting is that our energy body is not one gender. Our energy body is genderless. Or you could explain it as a coming together of both genders to the point that there is no domination of one over the other. Frankly, isn't that the kind of relationship you want? Your partner and you have no domination and no power games one over the other. What you want in a good partnership is what your soul wants. It's what your energy body wants. And so we're going to do a lot of practices to get us down to that deep place of looking at, my energy body wants me to express myself like this. Also, I have a male part of my energy body, a female part of my energy body, and also, what is it together? And then from this place, what kind of partner am I looking for? And what kind of relationship do I want to live? And how do I turn my current relationship into the one I want? So this is going to be the sequence or the flow of the workshop. And as everything in Tensegriti, we always start out in the very physical world, our world, our awareness, our normal awareness is in the physical realm. And that's why so many of us, when we look for relationships, are attracted to physicality for a large part. Or we're attracted to physical things like money, beauty. These are physical things. And that if you really want a soul-to-soul relationship, hopefully we can expand beyond just the physical and want to act from and be with a kind of person that has some deeper, maybe a few more sincere qualities than just the physical one. So, I don't think I have very much more to say. You've probably maybe heard some of this before, maybe not. But I think if you need a tagline, if you need a summary statement from this short lecture, from this short talk, from our short discussion, it would be, if I want to have a soulful relationship, if I want to have an energy body relationship, I, me, have to change myself to be in it for my soul. And that is what Tensegriti is all about. So, I think at this moment we're going to open up the floor to questions, and I'm going to attempt to answer them. So I'll wait here until I hear something else.
Первый вопрос. Существуют ли в традиции Тенсегрити практики по трансформации сексуальной энергии? Если да, то на что они направлены и как можно больше узнать об этом? Is there some practices in Tensegriti tradition about transformation of sexual energy? And if so, how to learn more about it?
I need a definition of transformation of sexual energy. You mean turning it into something else than what it is? I don't know. Maybe you could ask the person and then come back to me, you know?
Okay, next question. Подскажите какую-нибудь технику для освобождения от чужой неорганической энергии и наоборот, как освободить чужую энергию от себя. Я был на сессии у Ренаты Мюрез, и она говорила о перепросмотре пассии щит, пассии любовь к земле. Inorganic energy. I was at the session with Rенаты Mürez, and she told me about the recapitulation about the magical past releasing the shields and about the magical past affection for the earth.
Okay. Of course I can. But is that really the question for this seminar and for this topic? I'm not trying to not answer your questions, but I think we need questions on this topic of relationships. And if you want to know about inorganic beings, let's have another webinar on inorganic beings, sure. But let's just focus on relationships and okay?
Okay, so far there are no more questions about relationships, so I will just continue with the question that we have. Okay, there is a question. Как вы можете ощутить духовную связь с человеком? Что вы вкладываете в понятие душевной связи? How do you feel the spiritual connection with the person? What do you mean by spiritual connection?
Okay. All right. I'm sure you've already had it, but let me tell you how I experienced it with a couple different people. And it's happened several times in my life. With my partner, with one partner in particular. And it was really the same way that I had it with Carol Teagues and Carlos. So please understand, this is completely beyond gender. It's a feeling. It's an energetic connection that you're not like this. I'm not like this. I'm not against. There's no against anymore. It's just this complete, I don't want to say surrender, but it's this complete state that you share, which is rather euphoric. And it leaves you with an energy of feeling very big. Your best relationship from your soul will make you a better person. It also will make your partner a better person. Many times we have those relationships, we place too many limitations on each other. Limitations are placed on me because someone is afraid I might run away or want me as their property or whatever those things are. Or maybe I'm afraid, as a female, I'm afraid that my partner's going to look and run away. They put limitations. If you can meet someone, and I use the word interview, if you can assess with that person that in a couple, you really want the same things. If you want a long-term relationship, they want a long-term relationship. If you want monogamy, they want monogamy. If you want kids, they want kids. If you want a house, they want a house. If you can assess all that before you fall in love, before you leap into that wonderful, blissful state of lots of sexual lust, which can be so overwhelming and so affecting and so blinding at times. If you can reach this state of soul-to-soul, spirit-to-spirit connection before you even go to bed with each other, or even if you never go to bed with each other, that is what you're looking for. Maybe on your date or something, you're holding each other's hands, and the partner says, "Oh, I love the way the snow falls on the trees." You share that with them in a moment, and you're just there together in this beautiful moment of transformed, complete beauty. If you've got similar wants, if you can share these blissful moments, then as you're living your life together, you can have more and more of these ecstatic moments. Because you really have the same relationship goals in life. And your path together will be a negotiation rather than a fight. So I hope that explains that to you. And like I said, you think back, I'm sure you've had one moment like that in your life. But just go out and have more. Next.
Okay, next question. Можем ли мы рассматривать взаимоотношения с партнером как совместное сновидение, и, исходя из этого, практикуя одно, изменять другое и наоборот? Can we consider the relationship with a partner as a collective dreaming, and basing on that, change one thing by practicing another?
Yes, your couple is a collective dream of the two parties, or the three or the four parties that are involved. And if you change one thing in it, you would need to get what? The permission of the other members of your dream? Of your couple? If you're changing yourself, you don't need any discussion, negotiation, or permission. Like I know so many couples, they get married. They find Tensegriti. They are so happy together. And then one of the people in the couple wants to change something. And the thing they want to change is that one person in the couple wants to be celibate. And the other person goes, "What? Our original bargain was not celibacy. Our original bargain was to have some kind of sexual relationship during the course of our relationship." And so one person in that couple is changing something, but it's not with the other person's negotiation or acceptance or even consideration. When you want to change something in your couple that will dramatically affect the other person, you need to really share and communicate and find a common ground. Most of the couples in the situation, the celibacy situation, I have found that they decide to sleep apart a couple nights and then sleep together a couple nights, that they may have a deeper physical connection certain times of the month or the week, but it works for both of them. And so, it's a common dream you have. So treat it with the respect of a common dream. On the other hand, if you are improving your consideration skills, your compassion skills, your negotiation skills, through Tensegriti or some other spiritual path, that's going to really enhance you. You're going to be able to express yourself and ask for your needs. You'll say something like, "No, dear, I really want to try this thing for a while. And how do I make that work for you?" So if your partner's smart, they'll ask you, "Okay, this is not what I want, but tell me what you mean by that. Describe what you want. Describe the whole picture to me so I will know what the whole picture is that you are asking. Describe your dream to me so I can enter it or we can negotiate a different." That's the way lasting partnerships are built. So Some things my partner will say will be, oh my God. And I just gotta, okay, what do you mean by that? Tell me the whole thing. Oh, you want to be celibate when your parents are here for 2 weeks. Oh, sure, man, gotcha, no problem, rock on. Okay? So, you need some clarity, you need some patience, you need good skills, and if I'm coming from my heart, my soul, my energy body, I will find those words. Okay? Next.
Okay, next question. Если я живу душа в душу со своей супругой 15 лет, у нас нет никаких проблем. Мы смотрим друг другу в глаза, как и раньше, тогда 15 лет назад. Это значит, мне не нужно их копать и что-то искать в них внутри? I live in a perfect harmony with my wife for 15 years already. We don't have any problems. We look into each other's eyes in the same way like 15 years ago. Does it mean I don't have to dig deep and look something more inside of this relationship?
I think you have to answer that question for yourself. There are always new places to go spiritually. And I'm so glad to hear that you are having the best relationship. Congratulations. You're going to raise your hand. We're going to get you on the stage of this seminar, and you're going to tell us how you did it, okay? I'm so glad. But you know what? Some of my long-term relationships, 10 years, 7 years, 15 years, etc., as I evolved in Tensegriti, or I expanded my awareness, there were always new things to do. And because I don't really like living, even in an excellent relationship, in a rut. Okay, she takes care of the kids, I go to work every day, and then we come home, and everything's harmonious, the kids are in bed, You might want to grow deeper, you might want to expand further. No matter how long you've lived with a person, after 15 years, that person is not the same person you married. But who are you now? And it's so nice to spend some time finding out who they are. Find out who they are anew, brand new. And your relationship will be even deeper. Since you've been in a long-term relationship, I'm sure you are aware that you've had these moments of high love, and then, oh my God, maybe I made a mistake. Oh my God, I missed it. High love, oh my God, did I make a mistake? Most couples follow this pattern. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you were just always up here. Cool. But no matter which of those you do, you can always expand more. You can always share more. And you can always share from your soul more. Because your soul is endless. Your energy body is completely endless. I hope with your partner you share your dreams at night, with your sleeping dreams. I hope with your partner you share your insights. I hope with your partner that you share more than just the rudimentary paying the bills and raising kids. I hope that for you. I wish that for you. I intend that for you. So yes, there's always some other place you can go. There's more you can choose. Thank you for that question.
Okay, next. В отношениях бывают споры. Как отличить удар по моему эго от удара по моему энергетическому телу? There are some arguments in relationships. How can I distinguish when my ego was hurt or when my energy body was hurt?
Okay. First off, your energy body is never hurt. If you're hurt at all, it's your ego. If your partner comes in and says, hey, I just bought myself a new car. Ooh. Oh. Okay, wait a minute. Whoa. That's your ego. That's your ego. Okay. That's what I'm saying. If we can get to our energy body and, okay, I'm going to feel the egoic ugh. And then I'm going to go, okay, I want to look at this from a very different way. From my energy body. Tell me, why did you want to buy a car right now? Tell me the whole story. Tell me the whole motivation. Tell me the whole thing. Let your partner unwrap their story to you. And because in that story you will find out who they are. And then you'll say, oh, well, I don't think we can afford one now. So I hear you. Could we do something different? Or maybe you'll say, hey, it's the best thing we ever did. But the ego is that quick response, immediate, I'm on the defense, got my claws out, got my shoulders are up. I'm ready either for a fight or for a, if you do any of those things, it's your ego. Okay. Again, your energy body will never be offended. It just accepts anything that comes your way. Oh, your girlfriend tells you you're pregnant. Okay, she's pregnant. Okay, all right. Whoa. Okay, what am I going to do about this? It's just going to accept it as another occurrence in your life, which you probably have to find a solution for, how to handle it, what to do with the situation. Your energy body handles those kinds of things just like you're brushing your teeth. So there's no effect. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, next question. Есть ли какой-то способ научиться сновидеть ночью вместе со своим партнером? Is there any way to learn to dream during the night with my partner?
Of course. You're talking about the sleeping dream. First off, best, okay, you want the whole class? I gotta be brief here. A lot of people want to dream, either by themselves or with other people. And Tensegriti advocates that you do not attempt dreaming without any kind of life review. I have met so many people who have been with so many other shamans, and they do not do, they don't have any acknowledgement of their attributes or their behaviors or their patterns, and they just want to go jump into dreaming. And when you jump into dreaming like that, you are bringing all your patterns, all your behaviors, everything into the sleeping dream. And in order for anybody, including you and your partner, to be able to have better sleeping dreams, both of you will need to do some kind of, life review. In Tensegriti, we call it the recapitulation. You're just reviewing your scenes. Frankly, if I was in a couple and I wanted to dream together, what I would do is I would have meetings with my partner, and we would both sit down and recapitulate, review, like maybe a couple hours a week. And sit on the opposite side of the room, or review just all of our sexual experiences. So we would free up all that good life chi energy. After I did that, it might take a couple months, then I would practice sleeping dreaming together. And there's a lot of ways you can start that. The simplest way to start, lots of things. The physical way to do that is to change your physical body position. Sleep with your back to each other. Don't go hugging on each other. Don't go drooling in the middle of the night over each other. Sleep with your back, because then your assemblage points are touching. One person turns on their right, one person turns on their left, and you can sleep with your head to the top of the bed. Or, if that's not comfortable, you could sleep with one person's head down here and one person's head up here, but still, your backs are touching. When then you practice, going to sleep and asking each other their dreams the next morning, or where'd you go, what'd you see? And always be mindful that the symbols of one person's dream may be different than the other, but some of the aspects of that sleeping dream will be the same. So compare notes. It might take you a couple more months to, there was a horse in my dream. There was a horse in my dream. There was a carousel in my dream. No, there was a wild horse in my dream. But it's still this image of a horse. You see what I'm saying? So you need to compare and see how if you're sharing some of the same landscapes. And yeah, we can have a class on that. You can have a private on that. Bring your partner. Let's talk. Sure. Okay, next question. To ask for what purpose? I mean, most things we do have a purpose. We have a goal. We have an intention. But what's the intention of that? You want to just improve your sex life? You want to dream together? You want to raise your kids better? What's your intention? You want to merge better together? Find out what you want, and then come back and ask that question. I can't just answer general things. It could be useful. There's something deep inside of you specifically that you want to know. Ask that specific question. Okay, next you.
Okay, next question. I had a collective dreaming with my wife. When I told her details in the morning, it was the same that she was dreaming, and she almost fainted. But she's not interested in Tensegriti, and she haven't become interested after that. Does it mean anything?
You need to say it in Russian, Susan.
У меня получилось совместное сновидение со своей супругой. Когда я рассказал ей утром детали, и это совпало с ее описанием, она чуть не упала в обморок. Но она не интересуется Тенсегрити. Она не заинтересовалась Тенсегрити. Значит ли это что-нибудь?
So, what it means is that you can enter the dream space with your wife, and you are close enough to her to share a space with her. Now, a person doesn't have to do Tensegriti to want to dream with you. A person doesn't have to do Tensegriti to be your partner. Because there's so much spirituality that is just in our common language right now. It's a mainstream. You know, she could want to do yoga. She could want to do energy work. It's a different tradition. Or maybe what you're trying to tell me is she didn't want to do any dreaming, that's it. Then she wasn't interested in those spiritual things. She's interested in raising her kids and having a family and talking to her mom, and those things fulfill her. Okay. So that doesn't mean that you need to stop. That doesn't mean you need to stop dreaming. Okay? Because I know many couples that can exist with one partner, going into more esoteric things, and the other partner maybe doing a religion, doing Catholicism, doing Christianity, doing Judaism, doing something, or nothing, or they do nothing. But just because your partner doesn't do something with you doesn't mean you have to stop doing it. And again, that's really refreshing to know that you were able to have a dream with her. That's really wonderful. I wish that I hope she was at least flattered that you can think about your wife or intend to be with your wife in the waking state and the sleeping state. And if she wasn't flattered, okay. What does that all mean? It means that you have an ability to probably dream with the other you intend to dream. And if not constantly, consistently, at least almost sporadically. Okay, thank you.
Okay, next question. I haven't seen my previous partner for 6 years. And suddenly one time I felt that he was dying, like he was at the verge of death, and he needs me and he wants to see me. And I thought that maybe it seems to me it's not true. And then after 2 months, he found me and told me that really he was almost dying. What do you think about it? And also he said that he started to feel young again after that.
After he was going to die, or we don't know. Okay.
We don't know.
Okay, we'll say it in Russian.
He also said that I feel young again. Я не видела своего бывшего партнера 6 лет, и однажды я почувствовала, что он на грани смерти, и я нужна ему, и он хочет меня видеть. Я подумала, что мне это могло показаться. Так, извините, убежал вопрос. Я подумала, что мне это могло показаться, потом через 2 месяца он нашел меня и сказал, что недавно чуть не умер. Что вы об этом думаете? И еще он сказал, что он снова чувствует себя молодым.
Usually if I'm having feeling sensations or visions of an ex-partner, it means that I really haven't quite separated myself from them yet. It still means that some of my energetic filaments, which when we were partners were probably all over him or her, a few of them are still hanging on. And that's what gives you the energetic feel that they're dying, or that they're, getting married. I mean, that's always the best one, isn't it? Oh, my old partner, I can feel they're getting married. They're getting married. But it just, all it means is that some of your energetic filaments are still. And, you can choose to keep them connected. You can choose to separate yourself from them. I personally really work at separating myself, my filaments from all my past partners, because then when I go to a new partner, I'm not giving my full attention, I'm not giving my full self to my current relationship, because some of my attention, some of my energy, some of my filaments are still back there with boyfriend number 1, boyfriend number 2, boyfriend number 3, boyfriend number 4, and finally now this guy. See, not quite fair. Okay.
Okay. Next question. It's in addition to the question about instructions for practicing Tensegriti with a sexual partner. Any special instructions for forming a common intent together with a partner to reach the internal silence? Дополнение к вопросу о совместном занятии Тенсегрити. Особые указания для формирования совместного намерения достичь внутренней тишины.
For anyone to reach silence, whether it's in Buddhism, Tensegriti, etc., you're going to have to practice exercises of silence. So if you want to reach silence for someone, you're going to have to sit down with them. If you're a Buddhist, you will do meditation. If you're in Tensegriti, you will do movements together. It's also fun to do when you're doing movements at the same time or something. Your partner, you're doing movements and stuff. Then just afterwards, just sit down and put your assemblage points together again. Get those assemblage points together and ask each other. And everyone just vocalize loud, what they're seeing or what they're visioning. That's always fun for a dreamer. But if you just want the silence, then you would just do the magical passes until you both reach a state of silence and then sit down. And again, you can put your assemblage points back to back, assemblage points together, and just, again, that's such a nice feeling because you feel like you're kind of leaning on the other person and the other person is supporting you, and that together you are a unit. You're a unit of the same intent, And that would be one way of doing it.
Okay, thank you. Next question. If you are together with your partner 24/7, can it happen? Can it bring some exhaustion? And if so, how does it feel? How to avoid it? Or the exhaustion can only happen if there is a conflict of two ego? Приводит ли к истощению постоянное пребывание вместе со своим партнером 24 часа в сутки, 7 дней в неделю? Если да, то как это ощущается и как избегать этого? Или истощение происходит только при конфликте двух эго?
Living life takes energy, no matter who you do it with. In a couple, you will have those moments where you're like on the same page and you're really connecting and you feel effortless and you feel like you're both floating on the surface of the earth. Okay, but your whole life will not be those things. You will be doing regular household chores together. You will be paying bills together. You will be, etc. And you really need to look at your pattern of what kind of a relationship you got from your family. Because if you're the kind of person, a male or a female, that once you're in a couple, you give your couple your full attention, that you will do for that partner anything they want. There is a tendency that you will lose your center, you will lose yourself, you will lose your identity, you will just become the other person. And then what happens sometimes is when you break up, you fall apart completely because you have not been yourself in a couple. So yes, being in a couple will take energy. Being single will take energy. Having children will take energy. Your job will take energy. It all takes energy. The question is, how, as the dreamer of your life, how do you want to use your energy? Where do you want to put it? 100% with your couple? 50 here, 50 there? You get to figure that out. You get to do that. But the happiest, most harmonious couple can be very, very fatiguing. If one partner is saying yes, 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 yes to the other person and trying to make the other person love them. But if two people can say, both of you could say yes and no to certain things. No, I don't want to do that. Yes, I want to do it. No, yes. Then you will probably have a couple that won't take so much energy because you will not have lost your center. Next one.
Next question. How the unanswered love can be handled and what to do if a person can't cope with his feelings?
Okay, what was that?
Как можно трактовать неразделенную любовь, unshared love, unrequited love? Как можно трактовать неразделенную любовь и что делать человеку, который не может совладать со своими чувствами?
Yes, we call it in the United States, in our language, we call it unrequited love. But what you're saying is you love someone and they don't love you. Happens all the time, doesn't it? It's going to happen to you a couple times in your life. Congratulations, you're human. Okay. Again, there is a pattern for some people, and we, again, get it from an uncle or a father or something, or a mother. Where, as a child, we saw that one parent said yes and was very, very giving, and the other parent is very distant. Many times it's the father who goes to work. Father might even have other affairs, other families, but he's very distant. And the wife, or the other part, whatever gender this partner is, runs after him, runs after him, runs after him. And that is like, if you witness that in your growing up by anybody that you know, by a teacher, by a neighbor, then you might have a habit. Again, this is all about you. You might have the habit of always falling in love with those people who run away from you. That may be your pattern. And instead of living your life doing that over and over and over again, the pain that will bring, just pause. Do some sincerity, do some recapitulation, figure out, oh my God, that's the relationship between my aunt and my uncle. Oh my gosh, that's where I get it. Okay, now how am I going to really try to focus on someone who maybe approaches me, who maybe smiles at me first, who maybe wants to be with me? But many of us have this pattern of, we call it running after the bad boys, or running after the bad girls. Those bad boys and bad girls ain't looking at you. They're looking at what they're doing. And maybe there's a little bit of, what do you call it, self-absorption in there. You keep on looking at them. You keep on looking at them. Just not going to work. And after enough failed relationships, you will lose. And hopefully then you will start looking for a different kind of person. You will change yourself. You will realize this is your pattern. You will then start looking for a different kind of person. And if you're asking me what to do with all those sad emotions, that you're not loved. No one is ever going to love you. No one's ever going to look at you again. Oh my God, the love of your life slipped through the window. Honey, we've all lived through that, and we've all fallen in love again. So what I would suggest you do with your emotions is you get 10 minutes a day. You set your little clock, you set your iPhone. You get 10 minutes a day to cry. Record what you're saying. Okay, pull yourself together. Go take a shower. Go do some Tensegriti movements. Tomorrow do the same thing. Tomorrow do the same thing. Next day do the same thing. And after a week, you listen to what you're saying to yourself. You're going to be saying the same goddamn thing. But I do understand you need to get this out of you. This angst out of you. But you also need to become conscious that your angst is repeating. It repeats in you, and all you're doing is repeating something from your past. That you've seen, that you've witnessed, that you've picked up, that you've accepted. And why would you want to continue doing something that gives you pain? So I hope maybe that helps you. But I know a lot of people in that situation. And I've also, those same people have one parent who's so in love with their partner, and the other parent has to look back and say, I really love you. Be happy with it. So, find your soul, find your energy body, make something new for yourself. Do it. And that's what this workshop is about. Hey, Elena, do you have any more? Or I don't want to go over time. I don't know the time.
There are a couple of more questions, and that's it. I think. Do we have time for one more?
Don't. I'll do them. I just don't know the time. You
okay. I think we have 5 more minutes.
Oh, I will do them.
Okay, next question. How to fully release my energy fibers from the previous relationships?
Okay.
Как полностью освободить свои волокна от предыдущих отношений?
Okay, I'm so sorry, but the camera does not move with me. I have to kind of stay within the frame of the camera. So I'm going to adjust myself here on this sofa, and I'm going to show you this very simple thing called recapitulation. Okay? Sit comfortably, however that is for you. Okay? Legs up, legs folded, yoga position, there, laying down in bed, whatever you like. Okay, my past partner. Okay, my past partner. Okay, close my eyes, all right? And I'm just going to remember scenes with that person. I can keep my head straight and remember scenes, or I can move my head side to side and remember scenes. Personally, I like this because it feels like I'm scrolling through a film of my life. So, okay, there's where we met. Oh my gosh, was that a momentous occasion? We were in love at first sight. Okay, oh my gosh. And then the next scene is, oh my God, that's where he lost his $1 million. Oh, that was so hard. Oh, and then he wanted to leave the couple because of that. Oh my God, it was just so bad, such a bad time. And then we came back together, you know, and I'm telling you this in a sequence, but when you're remembering the scenes, you can remember the end, and the beginning, and then the middle, and the beginning, and you just go all over the place. The thing is, make sure that your memory and you're breathing in all the scenes with this one person in all the scenes. That's what you have to focus on. And by the time that you're finished with this person, when you have pulled all of your energy back from them, you won't be able to, no more scenes will come. It'll be that simple. It's just, you can't find a scene. You're sitting there going, can't find a scene. And that means you're done. And it's interesting because when people do that, and then when they finish that recapitulation, then and their ex-partner calls them, they are very much more themselves when your ex-partner calls them or contacts them. And they're much more abstract and cleaned from the past relationship. Many times your partner hasn't done that themselves, but you are. And you can choose then to enter the partnership again, but you're fresh and clean. You could then decide to, enter a different partnership. Just like we were talking about before, it's good to enter your clean new partnerships, not dragging your old stuff with you. They call it baggage. Don't carry your baggage with you. Leave it in the trunk. Leave it in the trunk in infinity, man. And go and live your life. I hope that helps.
Okay, and the last question. According to some Eastern schools, the control of sexual energy is the skill of a man to hold the sperm during orgasm. As it is believed during the ejaculation, the greatest loss of energy happens. Does Tensegriti agree with this formulation? И на русском. Некоторые восточные школы под управлением сексуальной энергии понимают умение мужчины сохранять семя во время оргазма, так как считается, что именно во время эякуляции происходит наибольшая потеря энергии. В Тенсегрити согласны с такой формулировкой?
I love male-oriented older traditions that only talk about men having an ejaculation and costing them the most energy of their lives. Your sexual energy is your life energy. It's your chi. It's your other traditions. It's your cough. It's your chi. It's your life. It's your source. And you give that to make a child. It's life energy. But whether you're a man or whether you're a woman, your orgasm is going to be a big force for you. It's going to be an expenditure of energy. And whether you want to be celibate or whether you want to have sex every week or once a year, how you use that energy, again, is up to you. Up to you. And, you need to self-observe. If you don't orgasm, you hear with yourself in the person. If you don't orgasm at all, are you doing better? Are you more centered? General energy, physical energy, clear energy. And when you do have sex, what happens to you? Do you fall asleep continually? Do you not move? All of these things are indications of how often you personally, you as an individual, could enjoy sex. But I know one couple. I thought it was a very charming thing. They both were very spiritual people, and I'm not endorsing this. I'm just telling you this is what they did. And so they decided that they were going to say the sex act 2 once a year, and they would pick the day. And they would go about their business all the rest of the year. I mean, they lived together and raised their kids, and all that stuff. They lived together. And then as the day approached, they would, do these special things for each other, and they would go to this special place, and a special room, and they would make it so special and so enduring and so loving and so kind that memory of this amazing moment together lasted them the rest of the year. And they were, again, very spiritual people. They were able to maintain a very, very high consciousness. So, again, I am not advocating that's a paradigm. I'm telling you that was right for them. You have to find your own way that's right for you. And yeah, having an orgasm, no matter what gender you are, that's what the energy. Yeah. So, use it wisely, use it well. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Reni. I think it's the time for us to switch to the practice part.